Welcome back, everyone. So here's part 2 of a video series where Chris and I here are just going to talk about almost everything drum that we have with us today.
Sure.
If we had a video series about all things drum that we had, it would take a long time, and I don't want to edit that.
True.
Yeah. So continuing on our part about drumsticks. So earlier in the other video, we talked about the Coopermans, the different weights, the different species of woods, and the different applications for like young students, mature musicians, different passages, like if it was solo, ensemble, whatever. And now we're going to get into a different drumstick brand that one, I had just actually heard of recently, and two, I think of as not a cheap option, but a more affordable option when it comes to if you want that Cooperman old school like rosewood or heavier hickory or persimmon feel, and you want it at a really good price.
So right now, the Rohemas are very affordable options for concert percussionists. They are imported, but they are still affordable in the $25 to $35 range, depending on which model, which species of wood. Compared to some of the other concert sticks that are $50 to $100, it's a good affordable option. But it is more expensive than some of your Vic Firth, Innovative, ProMark type sticks that are under $25. These are $25 to $35.
So unlike the Coopermans, these ones aren't weighted. We don't have like precise numbers and stuff, but I do have them labeled out here when it comes to the 3 different species of woods we've got. I've got the lightest, the heaviest for each one. We're just going to do quick demonstrations on the drums we've got just to show you like how sensitive they can be and how much the weight can actually make a difference. So this will actually be a new experience for me. This is the first time playing with these. I'm excited. I'm hoping like I can really get that like kind of core memory of like when I first tried like the Coopermans and stuff like that.
Sure. Additionally, all of these models, they're not the same model, but they all have a spherical round bead tip. So again, the consistency of angle versus contact surface area is going to be the same. That's what I look for in a concert stick. Some other players would prefer an acorn or barrel.
Definitely. So the first stick we have here is made out of Jatoba. So just looking at this and just holding it, like I haven't actually held these individually, this to me automatically has the almost resemblance of probably like the Granadillo, but just from holding it. So I'm excited to feel this one. This one is the lighter version, so this is the light one of the 2 ones that we have out of this wood. So just from picking this up, definitely have that feel. It doesn't feel like it's as maybe like thick as a Cooperman. Definitely a little bit thinner in the hands, but with that weight that I truly love out of the Granadillo series, and now that I've got it in like a thinner stick,
slimmer profile. Yeah,
I feel like that's interesting. Yeah, I'm really excited about this really tiny ball tip. That is interesting. So let's give these a try. Sensitivity. And it's not just the drum. Drum sounds good. Man, that's got that weight that I love, but the sensitivity of one, the ball-shaped tip, and it being a lot smaller. Like it feels like you've got the weight and power behind the heavier stick with just that so sensitivity because it's like you feel like you're barely touching the drum.
Well, these also have a longer neck and shoulder. By comparison with model number 1, if you look at just the profile of the stick, the neck to shoulder is relatively short compared to a longer neck and shoulder in the Rohema.
Oh, absolutely. But now we get into something just slightly heavier. I'm noticing a little bit like not as gradual. This is probably like in that 70 range that you had of the Coopermans. Like nothing too dramatic, but of course someone who's been doing this a while,
noticeable.
Like it's noticeable. So let's give these ones a try. Little bit more power and like just depth of sound. But still, that taper, the shoulder, and that tip, you get that sensitivity, and you feel like when you press into the drum head for rolls, you feel like you've got a lighter stick when you don't. So moving on to the next model we've got, same company. We've got a different species of wood here. So this is the rosewood model. Just looking at these, obviously it's got that typical rosewood look. Dark, really nice, natural look to it. Just picking these up, moving from this model to this, almost feels like you're going from a 2B to a 7A.
Sure.
So it's just that big, huge jump. So what I'm feeling here is you still get that weight, that density, nothing heavy, but it's that denser wood and a lighter feel. That denseness that you love from a rosewood stick, but a lighter profile. Wow. So that's the light version of these ones. We're going to move on to the heavier version. Not going to get too much in detail about these. From this one to this one, I feel a little bit, not weight difference, just I feel a density difference already.
A balance.
Yes, easily.
Yes.
So, to me, that is the point that I want as a performer. So these, I'll definitely have to give these ones a looking into.
Absolutely.
Love that. So the last species of what we're going to talk about in this series from this stick company actually is, when I first saw this, when you pulled these out, it reminded me of the 25th anniversary IP1s that Innovative came out with, like just the look. These are made out of black hornwood, and I think those sticks were made out of laminated beech.
Okay.
These ones have a very similar look to them, and I'm excited to try these because those ones, they're just heavy.
Yeah.
And coming from the hickory that they usually use for the IP ones, coming to this heavier ones, I got a set because they're my heaviest stick that I've got. These ones I'm excited to try out. They have a very similar profile to the rosewood that we have when it comes to this tip, kind of bridging the gap between a circle bead and a barrel tip. So really excited to try these. So these are the light ones in the series. So we've got the lightest to the heaviest. So these are the light ones in black hornwood. Oh yeah, definitely. If I were younger and just getting into this stuff, that would have flown out of my hand completely. Really light. Sure. It's not as dense as the other two species are, but it's got power to it. It really does. This one has a little bit more of that mid-weight or middle of the stick weight that I like, but in a really lightly dense stick. So it's got the feeling of it's almost like a toothpick in some cases, but if you just control it just right, you can get that power out of it.
Sure.
I'm just picking these up. Still got that middle of the stick weight to it, and kind of almost like the lighter version of the rosewood.
Okay.
It's there. Not as, obviously not as dense, but it's got that feel to it. So let's give these ones a try.
What do you think?
I'm definitely going to have to buy me a couple.
Yeah.
More than a couple.
Yeah.
These are good. These are good. So if you're looking for that old school Cooperman feel, like from the Rosewood and the Granadillo, obviously the Rosewood from these and the Jatoba from this series is there. Now obviously you're not going to have the same circle tip that the Coopermans offer. These are a little bit smaller, but that feel and that weight is there.
And they do have other models. You know, they make other profiles, other tips, and other models. So you could find one potentially that better fits what you need.
Yeah, and at a better price too.
And available in
yeah.
stock.
There you go. So Chris, thank you for joining me on this. I'm glad that you brought all this equipment. I'm glad that we are able to review all this great stuff and get this out there to you all so you guys can make the best musical choice for yourself, your ensemble, or whatever other application that you use drums and sticks for. So thank you for joining us on this two-part series of drumsticks. My name's Austin. It's my buddy Chris. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you in the next video.